On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, I make a big mistake. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and today I'm here with a car I bought last night in the dark over, basically a text message thread because of fond memories. So I've talked about this before when we rebuilt the Scion XB. I have a lot of fond memories of the Scion brand. The Scion brand was Toyota's brand that was targeted towards like millennial Gen X, I don't know, people that wanted to customize their cars, but wanted an easy route. They made really good looking cars. I love everything that they made, especially when the Scion brand started. Scion launched into the market hard, building all kinds of really cool cars. The XA is not exactly as cool. It's one of the only Scion, I think it is the only Scion car I've never driven to, which is very unfortunate. The XB, which was amazing, and I loved working on that, and then the TC. And if you were going to college in like 2008, 2009, 2010, you were probably driving this car. Scion sold like 1 million units because we all love these. They're simple, they work really well, and they've got Toyota drivetrains. What could possibly go wrong? Well, on this car, everything went wrong. I bought it cheap. I bought this car for $1,000, and I was like, what could possibly go wrong? Sometimes you just end up taking a close shave on a car. And speaking of a close shave, I'd like to thank Harry's for sponsoring today's video. Harry's is a men's personal care brand reinventing the way you shave. Are you tired of going to the store to buy razors and then overpaying for an inferior product? Harry's founders, Jeff and Andy, felt the same way. So they raised a bunch of money, bought a razor blade factory in Germany, and now they help millions of men shave with a quality product in a hassle-free way. Harry's is an insanely good value with refills starting at only $2. Plus, Harry's just came out with their sharpest blades ever, and they didn't change the price. The new sharper blades are still as low as $2 each. Harry's guarantees a close, comfortable shave. They support great causes too. They give 1% of every sale to organizations that promote better mental health care for men and veterans. And right now, they're donating $1 million of shaving supplies to hospitals across the US. The deal Harry's currently has on the trial set is amazing. You'll get everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, and you'll be supporting the channel by signing up. Redeem your trial set today for just $3 when you go to harrys.com/watchjrgo, and I'll throw a link in the description below and right here. So thank you again to Harry's for sponsoring today's video and for helping you guys get a closer shave. When I went to go pick the car up, there's a red sticker in the door frame. That is, of course, the old Kansas Salvage sticker. Now it's a lot cooler. It's a really clean little white sticker. But of course, that means this was salvaged a long time ago and rebuilt. And whoever rebuilt this really didn't even try. I mean, it is a Scion TC, so I understand why they wouldn't try. What's the point, really? They probably sold it for, $1,500, $2,000. But, and then that, and then that, and then the core support's crushed. And I got it cheap because the story I remember was that the air conditioning didn't work. And I was like, yeah, that's no big deal. You can get every single part of this entire air conditioning system for probably like $200, like all in. I think that's hoses, condenser, evaporator, and the compressor. $200. Yeah, I mean, if the lines are broke. If the lines are broke, you've got serious problems. But it probably just needed a condenser because I'm sure it's been hit because the lower grill is, of course, missing there. There's the outside air tip sensor. The bumper's broken. All the paint's gone. The tow hook cover's broken or missing. The headlights are literally gone to the point where they've been repaired because you can see they've been cracked out. Somebody sanded on them and then they failed again. The hood was, this entire car has been painted. So first of all, the hood was like the worst part of the whole paint job. It kind of cleans up. I wonder, I might be able to buff a little bit of life back into that, but man, that is fully oxidized. The wiper arms are corroding underneath. This car has had a very rough life. You can see that every inch of the entire car has been repainted. We've got a little bit of seal cracking and pullback there. It does have a full glass roof, which is super cool. This car was never customized by any of its previous owners. It doesn't look like it got the factory radio or anything. It wasn't ever lowered because these things look incredible lowered. When they redid the TC, not a big fan. This version, oh, I love it. And when you lower it and you have those wheels and they haven't been completely curbed, let's see, this one is curbed from here to there and then a spot and a spot. This one is 100% curbed, which is impressive. Brakes, actually, I did look at the pads, they look okay. They're at least at like 60%. This fender just got driven into something. The bumper doesn't fit anymore. They drilled holes to hold it all back together. Every bumper attachment is held on by zip ties. We'll open up the hood and take a look at that. Doesn't fit over here. How curved is this one though? Okay, that's a chunk. That's probably an imbalance at this point. Curved from there to there, there to there, and the rest of it's kind of clean. That trim piece, what? Huh, that trim piece is just gone. Oh look, this one has the mirror cap and it's painted. Oh, that's like an eBay replacement mirror. It just hasn't been painted. All the fitment's really good, actually. Wait a minute. Was this whole quarter hit? Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see this, it's kind of tough, but that's completely cracked. The whole fender is cracked. Cracked. This has been repainted too. There's a lot of paint issues right in there, but this whole fender looks like it got folded up like an accordion. It's also not glossy at all, like it was just a really bad paint job. What happened to this antenna? All the rubber's gone. It's kind of fun without the rubber though. Huh. Okay, we finally made it to the last wheel, which was the whole point of walking around the car. This one's curved from there to there, big chunk there, and there to there. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the least curved wheels. The rear's actually fared all right here. The bumper, missing a bunch of paint, doesn't fit. Full repaint, it looks terrible. The taillight doesn't fit very well. All the clear is gone, all the clear is gone. Gabe and I tested this third brake light last night and it doesn't work. All the other lights on the car work great. Third brake light, that's a no-go. We can't open the trunk either. So speaking of opening the trunk, I got the key last night and I was like, sweet, it's got the remote. No, it used to have the remote key. So this is taped together and all of the switches are basically completely gone there. And one of those is the trunk. I don't know which one it is, but one of these, if you hold the key together, let's see. Oh, that's not that one. Maybe if I could put my pinky in the key. Nope. No. Oh, that's unlock, I think. The switch on the back does not work. It's a nice electronically actuated trunk. No go. So let's take a look into the hood of this mistake. As you open the door and it creaks and pops. That's probably just the door stay. Those things break a lot, especially when they're plastic, like all the new cars. You see? That's what I'm talking about. That's what's cracking when the door opens right there. You can replace these, but you kind of have to take the door panel off and do a lot of work, so it's really not worth your time. Okay, let's get this hood open and see what we're dealing with here. There is that absolutely bulletproof Toyota drivetrain. I love these engines. They will actually run forever if you take care of them. The problem is, looking at the rest of the car, it probably wasn't taken care of. You gotta change the oil. It's the one thing that's important to these engines. Regular oil changes. Honestly, I would probably change this oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles reliably, right? Sure, it's probably got full synthetic in it. It was built well into the full synthetic years with longer oil change intervals, but this engine loves clean oil. So the rest of it, that looks okay. Obviously it needs a valve cover gasket, no big deal. That could be done easily. Then you come over here and you see that there's like a coolant leak coming from somewhere. You can see there's been coolant sprayed all over the place. O2 sensor was replaced at one point. The rubber spacers that hold the radiator in, those are just missing there. Here's some of the zip ties holding on the bumper. I think that's pretty entertaining. Who knows if the horn even works. And if you take a look down in there, there's the actual issue with the AC. You see that line? It's completely crushed. And honestly, it could probably be bent back and charged, and you might be able to get it to work. All right, that's all the force I've got, but that line is trash. And that probably means you just need to replace this line right here, and the AC would work again. This car does actually run really well and is reliable transportation for somebody. But the girl I bought it from got like a 2017 Camry, and it's super nice and didn't want to deal with this anymore. And of course it needed a lot of stuff fixed. I totally understand that in these Kansas summers, it's like the heat's oppressive because it's super humid and just wet, and then it's not that hot. It's like 105, but you're soaking without air conditioning. So driving anything without air conditioning in Kansas is not very fun. So it makes sense that you'd sell it for a broken line on the condenser there. And the whole condenser probably needs replaced. You can see something weird happened here. There's like battery acid all over the place, and the engine bay's never been cleaned, and I mean the air filter's probably never been changed. Let's take a look. It's not the worst looking thing. Could probably be changed. Oh man, it's even got a post filter. Nice. Okay, we got the air cleaner back together there, and I think that's about all we need to see under the hood. Of course, the washer fluid sprayers, that hose is falling off. All the clips are missing that used to hold that up there. We've seen under the hood of this old economical daily driver, but now let's take a look inside where, you know, Scion really built a very, very nice car. This car is very simple, had everything you needed, and honestly, maybe even a little bit more. Take a look. It's got all auto windows there, auto up and down, which is super nice of them. That was a crazy feature back in, what, 2005. This is a 2005. It was built in 11 of 05, so I guess it's actually an 06. This guarantee it's an 06 with it being built that late into the year. So here we have the very simple steering wheel, which does have cruise control, radio controls. The headlights are basically auto. You just kind of leave them on all the time. They turn on and off with the ignition, which is very nice. Power mirrors, and you know, a nice simple gauge cluster. You've got a speedo in the cluster, a tack, which was kind of rare in down market cars. So that's, you know, it really kind of elevated this thing. A coolant temp gauge and a gas gauge. And then here in the center, we have the really, really cool climate control. This was kind of alien looking and awesome. Outside temp doesn't work at all on this, but everything else does work great except for the AC. Hazards work. Let's see. Somebody did put a head unit in here that does have Bluetooth, aux in, and USB, which is nice. And it's an Alpine, not junk. Everything comes right back to life, and let's take a look. This is one of the few cars I would consider opening a sunroof on. Oh yeah, it works perfectly. Flawless. Oh, it goes all the way back. So cool. Good job, Scion. Oh. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, that's how you close the sunroof. All right, it doesn't work quite as well as I thought it did, but I did get it closed, so that's good. Back here, it's got the full glass roof and that rear sunshade you can open, which is very cool. You can close the entire roof with these roll-up sunshades. They're not great, but they will stay closed. Pretty funny. Obviously, all those roller shades are pretty bad. Oh, wow, this one is very bad. Never mind. So maybe it'll be tough to get that back open. There we go, we got it open. You just have to finesse the sunroof cover open, and that worked out all right. Let's see, back here, put that back on door. The seats flip down, there's tons of storage in the back, and it's a hatchback. I cannot get the trunk open. There's no emergency release that I saw. It's just gonna stay just like that, because the electronic latch doesn't want to work. The car has a roomy center console full of pins, especially one of my favorite pins of all time. I'm gonna keep that Pilot G2. And in here we got some post-it notes and aux in, the factory aux in, a tire gauge, and a few other things, makeup brushes. I think that's about it. This car is really cleaned out. No manual, just a TPMS set button in there, and that's it. That's honestly a complete tour of a very broken 2006 Scion XB. I'm gonna take this out, we're gonna run it through the car wash, get it cleaned up, and I'm just gonna sell it for what I paid for it. If I can get $1,000 out of it, I will be happy. So this thing's going away. I wanted it to be a project where we did a little work on some air conditioning, but I bought the wrong car for that. This needs a lot more work than just air conditioning. I definitely went into this deal thinking I would just go buy a condenser and swap out that front line and that thing. We'd be good to go. Have a perfect car ready for somebody to drive to school for, you know, the next 10 years or something. This is not that. This car, it was a mistake. Now that you've seen everything there is to see on this very beat Scion TC, let's take it for a drive and see how it runs. Check engine light does light up and it's not on, so that's a good sign. Only 137,000 miles, not terrible. Also, the exhaust may be gone. Here's neutral. I don't think it's aftermarket, it's just missing. It sounds pretty cool, actually. Good old Toyota variable valve timing. So there's no lights on the dash at all, which is a good sign. And it honestly seems like it drives really well so far. The brakes are excellent. Steering wheel's off center. clearly off center. I think something in the front end might be tweaked a little bit, but it drives straight down the road. Let's see how it sounds at watt. Time to really get this car cleaned up, and since we're in a car wash bay and there's really no one else here. It's kind of fun, and it's fun to drive this little car. Well, there we go. I got it washed, went and took the pictures so I could sell it. Sometimes you don't make any money, but at least I didn't lose like $10,000, $15,000 trying to restore this thing. Can you imagine replacing almost every single body panel on a car? Especially a Scion TC. It's one thing to save an XB that's lowered, it's another thing to rebuild a TC. I do wish I had an abandoned road at night so I could go relive the J-turns in a TC of many years ago. This car is a lot of fun, and it actually J-turns pretty well. Full speed in reverse, grab the e-brake, and then slam it into drive, and man, the transmission is probably bulletproof in this car.
Dead log, day 5, take 2. Flip it. I think you've had enough fun for one day burning the tires on this car.
So that is it for today, guys. Hello and goodbye to this 2006 Scion TC that I very much wanted to work on, but it's just not gonna work out. Sometimes you just have to bail. No when to bail. This was 100% a when to bail situation. Huge thank you to Harry's for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to hit my link in the description below if you want to try out Harry's yourself. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shopwatchjargo.com where you can get cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe. Do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Win some, lose some. This one is actually more of a draw because I'm not going to lose any money on it. It's just another day.